Okay, so in case you didn't know, Niantic finally implemented the last remaining Eeveelution into Pokemon GO, and of course I'm talking about none other than the pure Fairy Type Pokemon Sylveon. Now, in order to get Sylveon, you are required to have some very specific requirements fulfilled, and I'm going to be talking about all of that in today's video. I'm also going to be giving you a meta-analysis on this Pokemon and determine whether or not it is actually worth powering up. Alright, so with all of that said, let's roll the intro and get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. Today I'm going to be talking about Sylveon. This is the new Eeveelution that was recently added into Pokemon GO, and of course it is the last remaining Eeveelution that Niantic needed to implement into this game. And of course, with this Pokemon being released into Pokemon GO, we now have every single evolution of Eevee available in the game. Now, much like a lot of the other Eeveelutions like Umbreon and Espeon, this Eeveelution requires some conditions to be met in order for it to be evolved into, and yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So let's get right into it. So, in order to pick up Sylveon, there are two ways you can do it. First and foremost, there is the Eevee name trick that has been applied to every single Eeveelution up to this point. It's basically a hidden trick that allows you to get a specific Eeveelution regardless if you have the requirements fulfilled or not. Of course, you still need the candy requirement in order to get that Pokemon, and for Sylveon, it will require 25 candy regardless. But if you want this Pokemon without having to fulfill any of the evolution requirements, then all you have to do is name one of your Eevees Kira. Now, do understand that this trick will only work once, so you will want to make sure you use it on a very specific Eevee that you want to be Sylveon. If you have a 100% IV Eevee or a really high IV shiny Eevee, then I highly suggest you use your name trick on any of these. For me specifically, I do have a Flower Crown 100% IV Eevee that I've been having saved up, specifically so that I could evolve it into Sylveon so that I could have a 100% Flower Crown Sylveon. It's definitely something that I've been looking forward to pretty much for the last couple of years, so I'm really excited that this Pokemon is finally released. But of course, if you are not looking to use the Eevee name trick, or you used it up already and you want to evolve another Sylveon, well, you could just fulfill the required credentials in order to get this Pokemon. Basically, what you need to do is get 70 hearts with Sylveon as your buddy. Now, what this means is that you will need to have your Eevee as your buddy, and then make sure you collect as many hearts as you can every single day. You can receive up to a total of 27 hearts per day. That is, of course, if you get your Pokemon excited and max out every single heart that way, as well as the 3 potential bonus hearts that you could get every day. Of course, on average, you should be able to get 22 to 24 hearts every day, which means in about 4 days, you will be able to evolve into Sylveon. So yeah, that is the straightforward way on how you can get Sylveon from your Eevees. It's not going to require random chance like the original 3 Eeveelutions, or walk a certain distance like Umbreon and Espeon, or require any kind of special lure like Glaceon and Leafeon. It's specifically going to require you to walk your buddy, feed your buddy, and play with your buddy, as well as battle with your buddy in order to earn those hearts. Now, if you do not know how to get your Pokemon excited without Poffins, then I highly suggest you go to the video in the description below. I have a nice little quick guide on how you can do that, or if you want to just use up Poffins, then do look for those AR mapping tasks. That is how you can mass up on a whole bunch of Poffins and be able to do it that way. Now that you've evolved your Eevee into Sylveon, let's talk about whether or not it is going to be viable as a raid attacker as well as a PvP Pokemon. Now, the jury is already out regarding whether or not Sylveon is going to be very useful, of course it is going to be overshadowed by some of the current top favorites of fairy types, and of course I'm talking about Togekiss and Gardevoir. Unfortunately, Sylveon does not have the proper stats for being a viable raid attacker, especially compared to Pokemon like Togekiss and Gardevoir, which simply have a much higher attack stat. But in terms of PvP, there is some viability that Sylveon can bring. Fortunately, Sylveon does have some very well-rounded stats for PvP, and of course it does have that very powerful fairy type fast move, Charm. Now of course Charm is the only fairy type fast move that's currently in the game, and fortunately Sylveon is able to have that in his arsenal. But unfortunately, much like Umbreon, it's not going to have a whole lot of type coverage. It's basically going to be a pure fairy type attacker. So if you're looking for a lot more coverage, then you're going to find a lot more value out of Pokemon like Togekiss. So yeah, unfortunately Sylveon is not necessarily going to be the best of the best when it comes to raid DPS and PvP, but it is still going to be a nice second option. If you do not have a lot of good Togekiss for raid DPS, then you can opt to go with a whole bunch of Sylveon, considering that when it comes to EVs, there are plenty of those compared to how many good Togekisses you could potentially get. But it is going to require you to get 70 hearts in order to get a Sylveon, so do keep that in mind. It is going to be a bit of a time sink in order to get even one Sylveon, so yeah, maybe you should just invest in a really good one and then focus on finding Togekisses and Gardevoirs instead. But considering that Sylveon is a very popular Eeveelution, it also has a very nice shiny form compared to the rest of the Eeveelutions. It's definitely going to be a fan favorite. I predict that a lot of people are going to be using this Pokemon regardless, especially because when it comes to raids, if there ever is a need for a fairy type attacker, it's likely going to be a boss that's going to require several players anyway, so people will zerg it down with whatever teams they have, and I'm pretty sure that's going to include Sylveon as well. It's just a really cool looking Pokemon, and I really think that when it comes to its design, it's just one that you really do not want to miss out on. So yeah, there you have it everyone. This is how you can pick up Sylveon for yourself, as well as whether or not it is going to be useful in PvP and PvE. Of course, like I said, it's going to be a very solid second option, but of course Togekiss is still going to reign supreme, unfortunately. But regardless, it is worth getting, so if you do have a really good Eevee that you could evolve into Sylveon, then yes, make it your buddy and start collecting those hearts. But in any case, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. I am Count Jinsula, be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.